Hello everyone, Wolfie here. Last time we were on one end of morality spectrum. Now we're going all the way on the other side, above clouds, levitating on holy ground. Man, if priests could do this, it would be such a cool thing. Anyways, this is a part 2 of my priest guide in TBC Classic. Previous video was a how to shadow priest manual pretty much, and this time it's holy priest, or IDS priest and a little bit of COH priest. I will have to clarify all these abbreviations, but not today. Time for some facts. If you're ready, say your prayer, whisper a power word, subscribe to Wolfie, and let's head into it. If you opened your WoW client with "I'm going to play Holy Priest" thought in your head, it means you need to pick a race. Of course, if faction is not a hard choice. Since I covered racials and mostly priest racials in the Shadow Priest video, I'll just give my honest suggestion which is the best race and why. On the line side, behind door number 1, whoops, wrong doors, never mind that. Behind doors number 1, we have humans, as the best race for Holy Priest due to Spirit passive racial. It's because the best stat for Holy Priest is exactly the Spirit. Second behind the Human Priest are Draenei, cause thick reasons. But Night Elves and Dwarves aren't poor choices either. Alliance Priests are quite balanced in Holy game, not gonna lie. Although the Holy Priest already has such an arsenal of healing spells, the Desperate Prayer is just a drop in a glass that doesn't spill the water from the glass, you know what I want to say. Anyway, Horde priests aren't as optimized. Fact that supports my claim is that Blood Elves are actually the best option. Surely Troll is a nice choice as well due to berserking, but as a healer you will be taking damage only situationally. Undead are the last choice, both logically and lore wise, no offense. For PvP though, when it comes to talent loadout, there are many options depending on your playstyle, especially with COH, but for IDS, this one is most widely used. IDS stands for Improved Divine Spirit, and it's quite a nice buff to have. IDS is strong in early game, but going deeper into expansion, COH will get stronger and stronger, because you know how it goes. With greater haste comes greater use of downranking. Regardless, IDS is there for bigger, fatter heals and to buff party or raid with Divine Spirit, and mana sustainability is quite nice. As for the COH Priest, I said earlier there are a few different options to use your talent points in the Holy Tree depending on your playstyle. Do you like to cast a lot of renews? Or still prefer to conjure bigger heals for tanks with greater heal sometimes? Do you have too many situations with being attacked by non-tanked mobs? And so on. Many options. I will leave few options in the description of the video so you can check them out. But the bottom line is that you use your top of the tree talent the most, Circle of Healing. It is the most efficient heal for raid-wide AoE healing. Don't get me wrong, it's still strong in early game, but not mana efficient at all. In a tier 6 boss fights, well, many of them you will be near the top. Stats for priests, what to go for and what to prioritize. Let's take another look at the talents for that. In the middle of the Holy Tree there are these two, Spiritual Guidance and Spirit of Redemption. They work in synergy. One increases overall calculated spirit and other one increases healing done by 25% of the overall calculated spirit. So I'd say the spirit is top priority for priest healers. Next one is at the bottom called Empowered Healing. That increases healing done of greater heal by 30% of bonus healing points and of flash heal and binding heal for 10%. So from this, I'd say that bonus healing is second top priority stat for the priests. Next would be spell critical for both IDS and COH, due to inspiration and holy specialization, because you do want your heals to crit for way more healing and same mana cost, especially COH, which can crit as many times as there are entities to heal in a party. So in theory even up to 10 times, like in wild cases where there are 500s and 500 beds in one party, which is disgusting by the way. After this comes the rest of the things, mainly intellect and MP5. Healing rotation. Well, a school book of step-by-step manual doesn't really exist. Priest is rather a mixture of all healing classes in one. It has big fat heals like Paladin, hot like Druid, AoE heal like Shaman, and so much more. So rotation depends highly on your playstyle, spec and situation you find yourself in. For example, in a tank healing situation you want to cast more greater heals and a renew. In Dungeon Party, greater heals and renews on tank, COH if tank is not dropping and the party is taking damage, shield plus flash heal if DPS over aggroed and is dropping fast. In raids, where you are AoE healing as a COH in synergy with other healers, you don't pay attention to tank almost at all, just doing COHs everywhere around the raid. That's why one COH per raid is enough, because second one will just steal heals from the first one and you will be left with 2 insufficient healers that have a lot of overhealing and a little bit of mana. Unless boss fights requires 2, like Brutalis or Felmist. When to use Prayer of Healing and when to use Prayer of Mending. Well, first of all, it's 2 different spells, but both are supported by one talent. Prayer of Healing is party-wide only and will heal a bunch for high mana cost. It's quite inefficient, especially for COH, since you can just spam 2 COHs instead of it. However, there are quite niche situations where you can pull it off, along with Inner Focus, when you can expect a high damage spike to come at the exact moment, like DBM Countdown Timer. As for Prayer of Mending, it's instant bounce spell that bounces only when target it was casted on receives damage, heals for about 800 and bounces up to 5 times, but full uptime is 30 seconds and then it disappears. Never, almost never use the highest rank of Greater Heal or Flash Heal. Always down rank as much as you can. For example, whenever it requires you to spam Greater Heals on tank, rank down to 2 or 3. My suggestion is to heal with Greater Heals in most cases and use Flash Heal only when target requires a fast heal. To increase your chances of saving your teammate, cast Shield and then Flash Heal. Lastly, worth mentioning is Binding Heal as well. It's pretty much Flash Heal that heals you and your target at the same time. It can be situationally useful on some boss fights or in dungeons. Definitely keep it on your action bars. What does the Priest bring to raid and why would you have them there? Out of buffs, the Priest brings Stamina buff and Shadow Resistance buff. Average to great HPS values, especially towards endgame, but only if you have 1 or situationally 2 in a raid. As for IDS Priest, next to those buffs and average healing output, it will bring, well, IDS. If you look at the talent, it says increases target spell damage for 10% of target spirit, which means even warlocks are getting use out of this one, up to about 17 to 20 spell power. Priests are also good at dispelling magic effects, even on massive scales, up to 10 effects in one cast at mass dispel. Apart from that, they can cure diseases as well. Out of CC they have Shackle Undead, which can be used only on undead and it lasts for 50 seconds. One of the longest CCs in the game. Worth mentioning is also Mind Suit, which decreases the range from which humanoids can be pulled. And let me tell you, it's brilliant, and so OP, especially in solo questing, you can dodge so many mobs this way. Gear choices should cover cloth gear with a lot of spirit and intellect and bonus healing. Here are a few suggestions to start with, from the pre-raid list. Consumables for Holy Priests are casual healer consumables. Golden Fish Sticks, Brilliant Mana Oil, Healing Elixir and Draining Wisdom, or alternatively MP5 Flask. Lots of mana potions or even Mad Alchemists if you're alchemist yourself. In the endgame, some priests will use Cullfish Soup to min-max, but it's not a must for casual players. Out of other possible consumables, Scrolls of Spirit are very welcome, but you won't be wrong with runes as well. Gems. Now that's a tricky one. From the start it's best to focus on healing power where you can. As for meta gem, you can go with Bracing Earthstorm Diamond, but I usually went straight with Insightful Earthstorm Diamond. Gems needed to activate it should be Purified Shadow Gem and a version of Noble Topaz like Luminous. Towards the endgame, when gear pieces give you a lot of bonus healing, you will gem Spirit and Spell Haste for better output while keeping sustainability. Professions are, as usual, a personal choice. I like to go with tailoring and alchemy, and that's since leatherworking is nerfed. Since priests are an awful gathering class, I wouldn't suggest any of those, but rather go with enchanting for money making. Lastly, enchants on yourself. Tralmar or Honor Old Glyph for headpiece. Aldor is better choice for shoulders, but difference is not that, well, honestly Scryer's SUCK for healer. Resistance or subtlety on cloak, Mana Prime or Spirit on chest, healing on bracers and gloves, golden spell thread for pants, boar speed for boots, and major healing for weapon. Lastly, if you're an enchanter yourself, healing on your rings for sweet plus 40 healing points. I hope this was enlightening for you, at least to some extent. If it was, make sure to enlighten that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Have you played Priest in Vanilla? How did you like the changes that Priest went through while going through Dark Portal? Tell me down in the comments. As usual, stay safe and have wonderful fun time playing the game. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!